Hi, this is Anathea, your evolutionary astrology and your Star Point practitioner. And I have a special guest on today. I'm very excited to introduce you to, and we are going to talk about the upcoming Venus Star Point, the conjunction between Sun and Venus, the rendezvous between the king and the lover, or the king and the queen, however you want to label it. And so that's what we're going to be talking about. So I'm here to introduce Catherine and have a discussion about March 22nd, when the king and the lover come together. However you want to, what do you say, Catherine?
Well, I say the goddess of love and beauty, among other things,
Uh-huh.
connects and kisses, the sun. So,
Yeah.
yes, in a sense, lovers, best friends, all of the above.
Yeah.
I think it
Very,
changes.
very positive energy. Okay. So I want to introduce and let you know who Catherine Boyer is. So I'm just going to read off her bio so you know she's an amazing woman. Catherine has been passionately exploring the cosmos since the age of 14 and combines her studies in modern humanistic astrology with ancient Hellenistic traditions to provide meaningful and transformative personal guidance. Her specialty lies in Venus Star Point consultations, where she helps clients discover pathways to love, joy, and fulfillment. As the director of the Venus Star Point Practitioner Group, Catherine leads a group of certified VSP astrologers, Venus Star Point Practitioner astrologers, dedicated to unlocking the deeper wisdoms of Venus's celestial connections. Catherine is also passionate about the astrocartography and combines this with her consultation skills to help clients find their best vibes around the world. It's awesome, Catherine. And Catherine is also currently on the board of OPA, the Organization for Professional Astrologers, and is their publications director for the Evolving Astrologer magazine. Congratulations on that, Catherine. I'm really excited
Thank
that
you
you're
so
connected with
much.
OPA.
Very
Yeah,
excited.
yeah.
Yeah. Our
Awesome.
magazine's going to come out just in 11 days, 10 or 11 days. So.
Wow, I think that's awesome. Super, super cool. All right, so we're just going to kind of jump right in. First, we're going to talk about astrology just in general before we get into what the Venus star point is and its importance. So, Catherine, I want to ask you, what do you feel is the importance of astrology?
I really believe that astrology is a blueprint of your life. When you know your birth date, your birth time, your birthplace, and you cast your own birth chart, it really does provide you sort of with a map of your journey against the cosmos. And so you can choose to use it as a roadmap to lead a higher life, to, really activate the planets that were present at the time of your birth into sort of a higher vibe and live to your highest potential. So it's also a lot of fun and it really uncovers the true you in a lot of ways.
Yeah, well, it's definitely helped me personally to, understand, have more compassion for some of the challenging aspects and have more direction for some of the aspects like the North Node, the rising sign, and even, what we come in with, and, more compassion for my sensitivities and more compassion for what I'm here actually to do. So I don't know if it's helped you in that way as well.
Absolutely. And it really makes sense of some of the difficult times that you may have gone through. When you're like, why is this happening to me?
Right.
Well, astrologers will help you look at your chart and uncover maybe a deeper lesson and a message that's there for you and why you have to go through certain things, sometimes again and again before you get it and you
Right.
wake up and
Right.
you understand.
Or they're just cycles that you just have to move through, and it's gonna, this too shall pass kind of thing.
Absolutely.
Knowing that you're in your Saturn cycle or things like that is very, very helpful. Um, okay, so we are both Venus Star practitioners, and so we both got certified by Ariel Gutmann. And she is one of the most published authors, I would say, on this subject, which we're going to be getting into. But I want to ask you, Catherine, what would you say is the importance of the planet Venus?
Well, I think people who are very relationship oriented probably resonate to the planet Venus because she brings love, she brings beauty, she brings your gifts to surface. She's also a working girl, so she really helps guide you in your career. Now, the moon is associated with nurturing and being the mother. So Venus is independent of that. She's more the career woman, more the independent, the lover, often the fighter. And she gives us courage and passion and excitement and really connects us to sort of that love that's available in the universe.
I love
And
the way
that's
you,
my view.
yeah, separated that out, the difference between the moon and Venus, because they're both feminine markers, you know? So
Mhm, mhm.
that's
Yeah.
beautiful. Well, let's get right into it. What is the VSP? People are like, what the heck? What is
VSP we use as a shortening for the Venus star point. And so it's an acronym for the Venus star point, which was coined really by Ariel Gutman. And what it is astronomically, it's when the sun and Venus connect. We call it a conjunction, where Venus is in the heart of the sun, where she's exactly in the middle of the sun. The Italian word, I believe, or the Latin word for it is cazimi, and that is when Venus is in the heart of the sun. And so, astrologers, we look at that because we believe that's sort of a trigger point to really opening up a sort of love and sort of a theme for love and action for the next 6 months, for the next 8 months, because the sun and Venus come together roughly about every 9 months.
right, right. Now, can I actually show a picture? I want to show a picture because then it creates, over time, it creates a five-pointed star. So I'm going to show you two. I went and got these instead of having to share the screen. It creates a five, over time, every 9.5 or 9 months, the sun and Venus come together and they create um, over the zodiac, these five-pointed stars. See, there's the sun and there's Venus, right? And this
That's
is
exactly right.
I got this
Beautiful.
directly from Ariel.
That's
And so
beautiful. And the current Venus star point that we're heading towards, which happens on March the 22nd, is the Aries star point.
yeah, so that's
And
gonna,
so,
yeah, go ahead.
yeah. And so that is really going to affect your chart at, I believe the next one that's coming up is about 3 degrees of Aries. It's between 2 and 3 degrees of Aries. So if you've got planets or special energies at 2 to 3 degree of Aries, your chart is going to be activated.
Yeah. And, more and more people are understanding their natal chart, which is similar. It's a circle, right? But it's a quadrant. And everyone has this backdrop of this five-pointed star located in their chart. And it affects you in a very, very positive way. But can I show another picture here? Because I got these developed. Actually, there are two. So this right here is the beautiful pattern that Venus and the Earth and the Sun create, or Venus creates over time, like an 8-year period. But it's been going on for eons, this beautiful five-pointed star mandala. And here's another uh, way to look at it. So
Those are
I
beautiful
love sharing that
depictions.
because this is like a
And
beautiful harmonic. Um, so I had to share those pictures. Do you have anything else to add to that?
no, I think those are great visuals that you've
Yeah.
shared. And what you're seeing, when we were younger, we played spirograph where you made geometrical patterns, right? And they spun around. And that's basically what you're seeing the geographical pattern of Venus over about 100-year period. And the point there is to say that she covers 5 different points within a 100-year period. And the ones that are active now are the ones that you showed on the star earlier. And she goes direct. And then 4 years later, she hits that same point in a retrograde and then goes direct again. So it takes a full 8 years to make one full star where she's going forward and also going retrograde.
Hitting all the points, yeah. And
Yes.
if anyone's familiar with Pluto, it moves very slowly through someone's chart, never makes a full circle. And the Venus star point is even slower. So it's like
Mhm.
this intentional imprint of where this loving, supportive energy is going to hit your natal chart in your lifetime. That's what I find fascinating.
It is
Yeah.
fascinating. There's a lot to see there and a lot to learn when you learn your Venus star point.
Okay, so do we want to talk a little bit more about the next Venus star point, which is March 22nd, upcoming this month? That's why this month is so important for Venus. March 22nd, it's at 9:07 p.m. Washington, D.C., depending upon where you are on the planet. But if we look at the chart, it has a tremendous amount of Pisces and Aries energy. Is there
That's
some
right.
specific points that you want to talk about, Catherine, regarding the chart itself?
Well, I would like to share that when we have Venus in Aries, it activates a very warrior type energy because Aries is related to Mars, and this Venus star point is actually a retrograde. So this means that the Venus star point will become a morning star. And the morning star has the energies of Venus and Taurus, which is much more an active, more assertive, more yang energy of Venus. So Mercury is also in Aries, the sun's in Aries. And so what we're seeing is a real activation. And a lot of times when you meet people with the Venus star point in Aries, you're talking about people who are very much activists, people who pick up and get up and go. They are going to make a mark, you know, in their lives on this planet energetically about bringing something together and having something to say. It's a very feisty, go forward energy. And so I think the world needs this. I think this, it's not just a masculine designation. I mean, it's not just a feminine designation, it also impacts masculine energies as well. And
Right,
so
right.
feel that part of your chart come to life with this desire to speak out about that, whatever it hits in your chart. So it's refreshing this energy around love, around creativity, around relationships, and even your value system. Taurus has a lot to say about our value systems. So it could be where we refine and rethink what our values are over the next 9 months.
Yeah, before the next Venus star point. So it seeds a cycle. It's giving us this energy before the next star point. So when I look at the chart, also what I see is like a birthing canal, because we've got the Pisces at the end and Aries in the beginning, and they're all there together. And without going into much detail about it, we've got, well, I guess I could, Neptune, Saturn, North Node, and then we've got the Sun and Venus and Aries and Mercury and Chiron, all of them. Like I call it a choo-choo train. I just use real simple terms,
It's
but
a,
it's
it's
a
quite a
stellium.
bit.
And but it's the last zodiac sign and the beginning zodiac sign. So what I see is like, what do we need to really let go of and then burst into with our own personal passions, with our own entrepreneurship? How can we be more self-expressed? So we are in wild times right now.
Yeah.
And so this Venus star point, I think, is going to really support us and help us to claim our power, claim our passion, let
I
go
agree with you,
of,
Anathea.
yeah,
Definitely. I think, Venus, I think it's going to bring a little bit of grounding if we really use this energy. And I think that's what's needed. We need a little bit of hope. We need the bright light. We need to explore about saying our piece with love, with saying our piece from the heart. So that's the activism and that's the energy. But we have the Aries ingress just 2 days before when the sun hits the 0 degree of Aries. So we are officially in spring. And this Venus star point comes 2 days after the first day of spring.
I know.
So with it, this feisty new energy, getting up, speaking your voice, standing up for yourself. And it's just really refreshing. I love that these 2 points are very, very close together because I think we are all in this point of wanting to break free and get some new energy going after the long and very strange winter that we've had.
Yeah, yeah. And it's interesting, and Mercury's right there, right by its side, and it's, of course, I see everything from quote unquote, my work's point of view. But when you got Mercury and Venus so close, and today, as we're recording this, they're side by side. So it's about better communication in your relationships. It's a real supportive energy for you to, we have these relational patterns of, not talking about the elephant in the room or passive aggressive behavior or not, walking on eggshells in relationship, all of these patterns. And the Venus star point this time is really supporting us, I feel, in being able to let go of old belief systems. A typical one is I'm not good enough, and be able to speak your truth. But you have to have skills to be able to do that. And if you don't know how to communicate in a way that doesn't put another person on the defensive, then with this Aries energy, you could run amok. So you have to be really careful, you know.
Yes, Aries, Venus star point, people do have to bite their tongue sometimes before they lash out. And I think that's the significance of both Venus and Mercury coming together. They're very good friends, they're partners, they have a good chat. So they're connecting and they're both going to go retrograde back into Pisces. So as much as we want to go forward with this feisty energy, going backwards is having us rethink what we want to say in the most generous, heartfelt way.
Yeah,
Venus is exalted when she moves back into Pisces. So I feel like she wants to go back and get the right ammunition to go forward, to bring love, not just to make demands, right? To say, what is my real strategy from the heart? Where
right.
can I be kind and yet make change?
Yeah,
And I feel like, being paired with Mercury right now, he's inspiring her
yeah,
and saying, yeah, let's make sure we're mindful of everything in the cosmos, everything on Earth, everything out there in the big ocean, which is represented by that Pisces energy.
right. And
So
with Neptune there too, it's like taking everybody into consideration because Neptune is the higher vibration of Venus. So it's the transpersonal, which means, all of us, we're all in this together. And so how I see it, and I always see it in a positive way. I mean, Neptune can create chaos, which we have seen plenty of chaos, but it also with Venus and Neptune, I feel it provides, and Pisces, it provides divine protection, you know? And I
beautifully
think
put.
what
Yeah.
I'm saying this whole process is supporting us in the Venus star point and this Pisces Aries energy that we're in now is understanding that we're all connected and we need each other. And I really want to be the messenger of that because that's so important. There's been too much divisiveness, and
Exactly. And at the end, to jump on what you've said about Neptune being there, I feel like it's really saying go back inward, listen to the dreams, listen to the messages in your dreams, take time to meditate and really empower yourself as we transition into this, very interesting next 9 months.
exactly, exactly. Where we need to
So
have faith and trust. That's that Pisces Neptunian energy, but also then have courage. That's that Aries energy, courage to go forward. Yeah.
it really is beautiful that this retrograde is that close to Neptune and the Piscean energy because I think it really allows us to put this beautiful poetic spin on what we want to communicate.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. So, Venus, when I first said, oh, I got to study Venus more, I didn't realize how complex she is. So she is in the sky as a morning star and an evening star. Do you want to talk a little bit more about what it is, a morning star and an evening star?
Certainly. So whenever Venus has her cazimi with the sun, she's sparked by that energy and she either goes retrograde or she goes direct. And on March the 22nd, when Venus has her kiss with the sun, she'll be spinning backwards because she is in retrograde motion right now. And so she goes retrograde for about a 9 month period. When she meets the sun again, she'll kiss the sun and she'll go forward then. And that is really represented by the placement geometrically and astronomically. The sun is in the middle, the earth is here, and Venus is out beyond the sun. And from the Earth's perspective, we call that a superior conjunction where they're all lined up. But Venus is on the external part of the sun from our perspective, and that designates the morning star energy. When Venus is in between the Earth and the Sun, that's known as an inferior conjunction or an internal conjunction, where she's closer to us, and that shows us when she is in direct motion. So she's going direct rather than retrograde.
Mm-hmm.
And it has a lot to do with the geometry and the movement of the. So it's really, Venus isn't really going retrograde, it's just the apparent motion from Earth's perspective.
Right. She's not actually going backwards, but it looks like that
And
from.
the morning
Yeah.
star has that sort of warrior energy, and the evening star has more of that lover energy.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And right now, she's getting ready to disappear because she's coming close to March 22nd. It's coming close to March 22nd. So Venus, if we go, she's an evening star right now. So even tonight, you can go out and see if you can see her in the western sky, right? And then
She's
she's going
very
to,
low in the sky, so extreme right after sunset. If you look towards the western sky, you should be able to see something very, very bright.
yeah,
And she is lowering day by day, and then it'll take her a couple of weeks to come back where she's a morning star. So when you wake up, hopefully before sunrise, you'll be able to see Venus on the eastern horizon, and she's beautiful. When I lived in New Mexico, my stepdaughters would have to catch a bus to go to school every morning around 6 a.m. So I would send them out the house. They just walk down the street, but I always say walk with Venus, travel with Venus,
Hmm.
because they could see Venus as they walked to the bus stop before sunrise. And
Yeah.
she's so intense and so beautiful.
Yeah.
And her greatest brilliance, you might want to make a note of this, is going to be on the 29th of March.
Ooh.
And that's when she's super bright. So, check your apps for when sunrise is and try and look about 20 minutes before sunrise. And you should see her right on the eastern horizon. Super bright. It's like sometimes you have to stare at it because it looks like a plane might be coming towards you.
Right, right. And it literally sparkles like a star. She's the third brightest
Entity.
entity in the sky. Yeah, the sun, the moon, and then Venus.
Yeah, that's right.
So what we didn't talk about is that everybody has a Venus star point, you know?
That's right. So the cazimi that happens right before you're born is what we designate as your personal Venus star point. And then to make the five-pointed star, we look at the two after your birth, and then the two prior to the one we designate as your Venus star point. So that gives you 5 points to put around your natal chart. And then we connect them and we make that star. And that becomes your starburst, is what I call it, your personal starburst, your star family.
Yeah.
And those points, when they get activated by other planets that are transiting your chart, they wake you up in a certain way. And there's a message that they kind of give you. And there's usually you could track some activation in your life that's relative to that theme.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so how does this relate to the human body? The five-pointed star.
Well, the five-pointed star, I think you're relating to the Vitruvian Man,
Hmm.
which is a, a drawing by Leonardo da Vinci, in which there is a man and he's got his arms and legs spread out. And if you count the head and the four appendages, you could track those, and that makes a five-pointed star as well. So many of the things that we see in life and in nature have 5 points. If you take an apple and you cut it through the circumference, you'll look at it and you'll see 5 seeds in an apple, and that makes a star configuration. The cherry blossom, my background, the cherry blossom trees, each of the cherry blossoms has 5 petals. We relate that to the Venus star point.
Wow.
Just many of the things. There is a significance geometrically. And when you take the 360-degree wheel, which is the astrological wheel, which is broken up into 12 houses, if you were to take that 360 degrees and divide it by 5, you get 5 different points of 72 degrees each. And astronomically, we call that a quintile. And that 72-degree point in the chart from an astrological standpoint stands for a peculiar talent that we might have, something very special. It's like a gift that we get. That energy correlates to having that special gift. And that is the Venus star point.
Yeah, that's
So it's a talent or
beautiful.
a gift. Mhm.
And the natal chart is, put into four quadrants, whereas the Venus star point is the fifth harmonic. And
That's the fifth
so,
harmonic. The 72 degrees correlates
right.
to
And
the fifth
so
harmonic.
would we also correlate that to us moving from the fourth dimension to that Venus is helping us move to the fifth dimension? Would you say that?
There's certainly awakening there once you start working with the Venus star point. You realize, and that quintile energy is talent. There's also the biquintile. When you double that, it's 144 degrees. And these energies, everything is vibrational, right? The planets have their own vibes. Just about everything numerically, you can break it down to a musical note or the expansion of that musical note, which is a vibration.
Yeah,
Yeah.
beautiful. I love
That's
it.
yeah,
He
the
offers us
harmonics.
many, many gifts, right?
Definitely. All the
Um,
planets do.
yeah, so what else do you want to add to that, Catherine?
Well, I'd say yes.
Where are we at with not a lot of people really know about the Venus star point. Um,
Well, anyone could contact one of us to give them more in-depth reading about their own charts because we are specialists and we're certified. You can also go and look at Ariel Gutman's website, or you can Google the Venus Star Point and definitely look for Ariel Gutman. She's our teacher.
yeah,
She also has a couple of books on the Venus Star Point, and you can learn a lot more about it. Yeah, but there's so much there to uncover and to unpack. And every time one of these other star points gets sort of lit up, we could track certain events in history to when those points were lit.
yeah. You know what? The other thing that we didn't talk about is how it's the human body, but everybody has a different star point, and then they have family members or friends on one of their Venus star point is that. And so, can you explain the different types of relationships as it relates to who you're connected to and their Venus star point as it relates to your own Venus star point? Because that was fun. When you gave me
Yes,
that reading, I really loved that.
that's what's absolutely fascinating. The great thing about the Venus star point is that you don't need to know your time of birth. So if you don't know your time of birth and you want to do a little of astrology, you can have a Venus star point reading. And one of the things that Anathea was mentioning is that you can actually find out who your friends and family are and where they hit you on your own Venus star point. And it gives you a little bit of color into the kind of relationship that you have with them. They could be a twin star and be your same exact star point. And they might be on your arms. And if you have someone on either of the arms, that tends to be an easy flowing, sort of a magical, creative friendship. Then sometimes when you have people on the different feet, that's more of a karmic energy, a karmic relationship. That person is there to either teach you something or learn something from you. And sometimes we find that the people on our feet are a little more stressful, or there's a lot deeper relationship meaning and evolution that you go through with that particular person.
Yeah,
So we tend to have easy friends and business partnerships on our arms. We have soulmates that connect with us or people who really understand us that are our twin stars. And then the challenges on the feet.
yeah.
But it's all good.
Yeah, well, what I found fascinating was when I finally mapped it out, both of my husbands were same Venus star point as me, Cancer. So I found that fascinating,
That's nice.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you're with yeah, your soulmates. That's
And
very
then
cool.
who my helping hands were and who my karmic connections were was really great.
It really also gives you some insight in how to work with them and how to relate to them going forward. Because those people on your arms are pretty easy, easy come, easy go, really nice and light and really fun. But the ones that are on your feet, there's probably a need to be a little bit more delicate in the way that you communicate with them.
Yeah. So what's the future of people becoming more aware of the Venus star point then?
Well, definitely learn where your Venus star point
Yeah.
is. Learn where the people that are important in your life, where their Venus star points are. Talk to a certified Venus star point astrologer. I would say follow Anathea. She'll be talking about it more, Ariel Gutman. And soon I'll be doing some podcasts on Venus and the Venus star point. There's a lot of information out there. I highly recommend Venus Star Rising by Ariel Gutman, the book. It's also available as an ebook. Both of them are available on Amazon.com. And just know that there's so much fascinating energy to learn about when you study your Venus star point.
Yeah. And what I'll do is I'll put a link in this video to the chart because we can access it directly on Ariel's website, correct?
Correct.
And then you can actually then look and see the date of the Venus star point before you were born, you know? What is the rule? Let's say they were born, right before the next Venus star point. Is it one day, 2 days?
There for a couple of people who are born sort of on the cusp when the Venus star point changes from one sign to another, and you really need to take a look at their birth chart and see where Venus, where she connected with the sun, where it falls in their chart, and to what degree it might be. And so it takes a little bit of work. We typically use the conjunction prior to your birth. But a lot of people are born so close to one after their birth that they seem to associate and resonate with that star point.
Yeah.
So you might have been born on the 20th and the Venus star point happens 3 days later. You're probably going to relate to that one more.
Yeah.
And it depends if Venus star point is direct, a superior conjunction, or an inferior conjunction, whether it's direct or retrograde.
And can I ask a personal question?
Sure.
How do you feel this Venus star point is going to affect you? Because
Well,
you're an Aries star point, aren't
I
you?
am. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. 12 years ago, I started studying the Venus star point with Ariel, and I was certified in one of the first classes that she hosted. And so I'm just getting out into practice now because I've had a corporate career and I did the astrology on the side. So now I'm in the midst of launching everything professionally. So that is the Venus star point. It's really pinging me to say, come on, you've been studying it for long enough, get out there, put your shingle up. That's one of the things. The other thing is that right before the last Venus star point, I was making a move from California to New Mexico. And with this Venus star point, as I shared with you, I'm now going to be moving from North Florida to Arizona, Tucson, where I've lived before. So with me, when the star point gets activated, I do see a little bit of movement. I see relationships come in. I see that I get very, very busy for the next 9 months, which I certainly will be. And I see that this particular star lightens up where it falls for me. So I'm going to see a lot of activity
I
with
know
that.
it's really powerful for you. What degree is your Venus star point?
It's at about 20, 21 degrees.
Okay.
It conjuncts my moon. So when the Venus star point conjuncts your moon, I kind of call it, you become sort of a moon goddess.
I know. I remember
So
you
I'll work with
saying
that
that.
energy.
I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Super powerful. Well, thank you so much for all your wisdom and all your information.
I love talking about it. I love meeting with you, Anathea. Your business is beautiful. And really, the Venus Star Point adores that you're helping women find a voice and becoming empowered.
Thank
Remind
you.
me, your Venus Star Point is
Is 2 degrees Cancer.
okay.
Wait,
So
wait, wait,
that
wait. Is 3 degrees Cancer because it's right next to my 2 degrees Mars in Cancer. So
so you too, when that Venus Star Point gets activated, you're all about going, and it's no wonder you work with the divine feminine if the Venus Star Point is conjunct your natal
yeah,
Mars.
yeah, yeah.
That gives you energy to go out there in such a loving way. Cancer is very much about family love and about protection, but it's also a cardinal sign. So it requires you to take action and be a leader and to speak up about loving from the heart.
Well, what I feel is I am the warrior for the feminine, and it is just deep inside me, and I can't do anything about it other than just be the warrior
There's,
for the feminine.
right. No, there's no doubt. There's no doubt.
It is so
I
funny.
love that.
But that's why, I'm committed to, as complicated as Venus is, I'm committed to really helping people focus on her. Because when we focus our attention on Venus, she's going to give, this is at least intuitively what I'm getting, is she's going to give back to us in very beautiful, positive ways. More
That's so
harmony in
true.
our relationships, more open-heartedness and with our relationship with ourselves, because Venus is about love, but she's also about abundance, about money, so
That's right.
and what you value. So it has helped me to, I went through a existential crisis. Like, you got at this age, I've got the t-shirt for this, I got the t-shirt for that. Now what am I going to do for the rest of my life? And, teaching about Venus and sharing about love and transpersonal love and helping people really understand that we're all connected. I feel like Venus is kind of the mascot. And if I can share where Venus is at, what she's up to. That'll help people step into that Venus fifth harmonic vibration. And let's just say it again. Right now, she's dancing close with Mercury, and really supporting us to say, actually, I thought of it the other way too, is to say nice things. My father used to say, if you can't say anything nice at all, don't say anything, Now, I don't know if that's the best method, but
That's one of the golden rules, right?
right, right.
It's
But this is a time right now where we could actually um, be grateful and appreciative. So, this is I'm going to role model it. Catherine, I am so appreciative of you, and I'm so appreciative that you have been, the great organizer of getting all of us Venus Star Point practitioners together once a month. Because it's been nice to be able to be connected to everyone and be able to be connected to you. And it's
Oh,
been
thank you. And
fun.
I feel the same way,
Yeah,
Anathea. We're coming together because we really want to help people out there going through difficulties or looking for some direction. The power is within us, and astrology and talking to Venus really helps to trigger what our natural talents are. And
right.
so I would say, as an homage to Venus, back in the day, people would put up altars to the different gods and goddesses when they were asking for favor. So I recommend to a lot of my students and my followers, make a little altar to Venus and, put some things up there that she likes. Venus's color is green, like the color of money. So maybe a green candle. Put your little wish list together of what you hope that she can help you attract. She is the goddess of attraction, whether it's career and money or whether it's love and compassion. And being in Aries, she's going to go out there and become very active.
She's going to
So
make it happen. Yeah, she wants to help you make it
she
happen.
does. She definitely does. She's got a lot of action ready to go. So
I love that. Yeah, so this is the time, the next 9 months. Do what you're passionate about. One thing I do want to mention going back because it got into my head. When we first got connected, it was through Kay Taylor's Venus class. Do you even remember that? That could have been like
yes, I
three
do.
years ago. And I was like looking at you and I was like, that woman, I want to be connected with her. And then
Oh,
I don't
wow.
know how much
Wow.
later but Venus brought us together.
Isn't that amazing? You'll
Yes.
find that the people that are closest to you, where you need to learn about love, there is some Venusian connection there.
Yeah.
And I like those because I like talking about love and relationships. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Awesome. Okay, so how can people get a hold of you? I'll put some information down below, but is there an email address, website?
there is. The best email address is catherineboyerastro, ASTRO, at gmail.com.
Awesome.
And if you can tag it, then that's the best way to get. My website is under construction. But I'm happy to speak with you and answer any questions that you might have.
Yeah.
So email me, please.
And maybe get the Venus Star Point reading with you because I'm not doing that so much right now. I'm doing more the natal charts. and relationship charts. But you did a great Venus star point reading for me.
Well, I'd be happy to do that. And anyone who mentions your website when they contact me in the email, if you just put that you saw our web video, I'll give you a 20% discount on the reading in honor of Venus in this upcoming Aries Venus star point. So just make sure you mention Anathea.
Awesome, awesome. I love it. Catherine, thank you so much for being here. This was a lot of fun.
My pleasure.
All
My
right.
pleasure.
Let's talk
Enjoy.
soon.
Thank you so much. It was fun.
All right.